Good evening and welcome to the Parks and Natural Resources Commission meeting for Monday, December 3rd, 2018. The first item tonight is the approval of our agenda.
So move.
Second.
So moved. Moving to the second item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from for November 19th, 2018. There was a note that Commissioner Kiefer was absent from that meeting, but was listed as in attendance, and she will need to be removed from roll call on that. Can I get a motion for approval of those changes?
A motion for the change.
Second?
Second.
And so moved. Third item, citizen comments. And seeing none, we will move on to the fourth item on the agenda, which is a Sunset Pond presentation. Kira Bauer, Burnsville resident and former PNRC Youth Commissioner, is here tonight. Welcome, Kira.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me here tonight. My name is Kira Bauer. I am a Burnsville resident, and I would like to bring your attention to an issue that I've noticed concerning a pond in my neighborhood. Although I'm not looking for a formal recommendation from you at this time, I would like to request the city park staff look into this issue further. So I've lived on Sunset Pond my entire life. Only in the past couple years have I noticed that it's become particularly more polluted with algae or nutrient pollution. As you can see from these pictures from September of 2018, most of the surface area of the pond is covered with algae or nutrient pollution, and it's accompanied by a pretty pungent smell. So that's where the idea for this project came to be. Basically, Sunset Pond is a stormwater pond, and it's located in Burnsville, on the border of Savage and Burnsville. And it's polluted with algae growth caused by excess nutrients, and these are harmful to plants, wildlife, and the surrounding community. In order to both educate the community and to help alleviate some of that nutrient pollution, a rain garden with informative signs could be implemented as a useful solution. In this presentation, I'll be talking a little bit about the causes of nutrient pollution, why it's harmful to the surrounding ecosystem, and why action needs to be taken, and some of my suggestions for improvement. So, is this an issue? Well, I interviewed some of my neighbors, both of whom are residents on the pond and frequent park users. Michelle Stewart and Robert Graff both said that it was on their list of environmental issues in the neighborhood, and primarily because of that intrusive odor and the obvious algae on the pond as well. The city has also taken note of the problem. They have been actually treating the pond for the algae the past 2 years. However, according to Cale Bashling, who is the city wetland specialist, this is only for temporary aesthetic purposes, so it's not going to solve the issue in the long run. So what causes nutrient pollution? Well, nutrient pollution is caused by excess amounts of nitrogen and phosphorus. These are a known cause of algae growth, according to the EPA. And based on a study by the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, there's actually limited naturally occurring phosphorus. So the phosphorus we find in the water is generally produced by human byproducts, such as fertilizers, yard waste, detergents, etc., from the stormwater runoff. So why is this a problem? Well, nitrogen and phosphorus levels on Sunset Pond are high enough to allow for seasonal problematic filamentous algae blooms. These are also shown that the density of algae is correlated to declining health and diversity of an ecosystem. And while this isn't necessarily an issue for Sunset Pond yet, as it is in only moderate health, this is something to watch out for in the future as it could become an issue. And of course, algae blooms also do cause aesthetic and odor concerns for the neighboring properties and park users in the area. So what can we do about it? I suggest a rain garden be implemented and planted near the shoreline of Sunset Pond with signs next to it explaining the problems with the pond and how the rain garden is important because it helps remove pollutants and slow storm water. And why a rain garden? Well, rain gardens have been shown to reduce runoff by 90%. That's highly significant. And rain gardens help perform, what they do is they slow the flow of stormwater into the pond and help decrease the amount of algae pollution that enters via stormwater. They're also relatively self-sustainable, so there'll be little cost other than the installation and the time to maintain. By including signage along with the rain garden, we help communicate to the community members what they can do, why the pond is polluted and what they can do about it. By doing this, we take it one step further beyond just the rain garden itself, get right to the source, which is the people, and then hopefully fix the problem. So in conclusion, nutrient pollution is an issue that does exist on Sunset Pond, and it's caused by human activities and waste. It is our job as producers of this pollution and members of the Burnsville community to step up and help alleviate this problem. Although I'm not asking for a formal recommendation from you at this time, I would like to request the city staff look into this further. Thank you. And are there any questions?
Commissioners?
So is the idea to kind of build a rain garden around a good portion of the pond itself?
I was looking into spots where maybe it would be a good idea, and there's a sewer, like a sort of runoff area towards the park side of the pond, if you're aware of that. It wouldn't go around the whole pond, obviously, that's not necessarily feasible, but just like a small area enough where it helps slow that flow somewhat.
So like the flow coming off of the parking lot?
Yeah.
In that area? Okay. Would more pond, gardens in other areas be also a good plan?
Well, there is the option where citizens can get grants from the city or from the state to plant rain gardens in their own private properties. The city can't necessarily plan those, but that is another option. Again, with those signs, hopefully we can get more knowledge about that to community members and say, hey, you can get a grant to plant your own, and they're nice looking and they're good for the environment.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, commissioners? Anything from staff?
Nothing from staff.
Kira, thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
time and for being here tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, miscellaneous. Anything from commissioners? Staff, JJ?
Commissioners, our next meeting is scheduled for January 7th, 2019. So following our meeting tonight, we'll have a work session, and then we will not meet again until next year.
Okay. And that brings us to the adjournment of the meeting. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Second.
That's what it is. So thank you very much for attending the Parks and Natural Resources Commission meeting for Monday, December 3rd, 2018.